Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the show where we shatter the silence on men's mental health. We are unedited, unfiltered, and as always, we are going raw. My name is Joey.
And I'm Eric, and we're your hosts, and welcome to Raw Minds. It is,
Yeah,
man.
buddy.
Last episode of our installment here.
Episode 5 of the mini-series.
Hell yeah.
It is coming to a close. We are hitting up the 5th stage of grief.
Yep, acceptance.
And that's probably one of the hardest ones.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
1,000,000%.
Yep.
And going through whatever it is that, you guys are going through or the things that we've gone through, man, it's the hardest part in all of it is acceptance.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that it like and it's hard because, whether it was a relationship and the person that you love, you have to accept the fact that they're not coming back, that you guys will never be a couple again. If it's a loss of a loved one, especially, nobody wants to accept the fact that they'll never see them again.
Yeah. It's true, man.
It's a true struggle is the acceptance.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, a lot of people, I should say, is they never can accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you choose not to accept it, that's where you're unable to move forward in your life and allow new things to come in.
I agree. It's the last.
Right, and then
Yeah.
it's the same as letting go.
Yeah.
Is learning to let go is learning to accept.
Mm-hmm.
In order for it's like you block the universe from allowing these new things to come into your life, the new people, because you're holding on to that past and not being able to let that go and not being able to accept what it is that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it was, traumatic things, even as a child, and it wasn't your fault, you still have to accept that it happened in order to heal and to move forward from that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, one of the hardest things is the acceptance and learning to let go of whatever it is that's happened to you, or the relationship that failed, or the person that you love the most passed away. You have to,
Or a
because
loss
then
of a
you're holding
job.
on to this. Yeah, or even that, and we're all guilty of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh well, my boss was an asshole, and she did this, and he did that, and you just can't let it go. But then you sit with this anger and this hurt, and really,
Yeah.
it just you end up just messing up your own life going forward and your own day to day. Because if it was something that happened to you that wasn't your fault, and someone, your friend stabbed you in the back, or your wife cheated on you, I mean, clearly they don't give a shit about you. So why are you holding on to that? Why are you affecting the rest of your life? Because they clearly don't give a shit about you.
Mm-hmm.
You're letting them live rent free in your head, right? Which is now affecting the rest of your day to day and how you act. But it's a tough one, man. It's just, especially with big traumatic events, or, a lot, especially like in your case, you lost your fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to accept the fact that you'll never see her again.
Yeah. It's
And
hard,
that's a
man.
tough pill. It's a tough pill to swallow, man. I
Yeah.
can't imagine. Just like I lost my nephew and
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Nobody wants to accept that, especially children losing children. Like,
You know what the hardest
man,
part is, man? Is like I get all these like from Google and all these memories, and they keep on popping up of pictures of me and her or things that we did, right? And that's hard going through that. At the same time, it's nice seeing it, but at the same time too, it's difficult too, right? So it's doesn't matter, if you've accepted it though after, like it can hit you still again, right? Like it still will come in waves, or I mean, a smell, or if you go to a place, and it reminds you because you and your partner or friend or whoever, your dog went there before, it'll pop up again. But it's just being aware, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or a song on the radio,
Yeah,
or brings you back to memories,
yeah,
and that's normal. But I think a part of you know the healing process, like we always talk about, is whatever it is that's happening and the pain and struggles that you're dealing with, is you have to be able to talk about it. You have to be able to find those resources to deal with that.
exactly.
So that way, when these things do come up, it is not a trigger that upsets you
Mhm,
or brings you down, but it actually makes you smile because now you're thinking of them at a happy time,
exactly.
or the relationship when it was really good,
Mhm.
so but
It's okay though to feel like, sad in those moments too at the same time, because obviously, something tragic or sad happened. It's okay to feel that, but at the same time, don't don't let it take over you, you know? Just keep on pushing
yeah,
forward.
have your moments
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You're human.
Yeah.
You're going to, if you love somebody and they're not around anymore, your
It's
last
normal.
relate, whatever it is, that's normal.
Mhm.
But you can't allow that to affect the rest of your life, for the rest of your life.
Exactly. True.
You have to be able to let go and accept that it's it's not the same anymore. They're not here anymore. That relationship is over.
Yep.
And that's a part of life, whether we like it or not. Death comes to us all, and sometimes sooner than others, and
Mhm.
it's truly sad,
Yeah.
but that's life.
Yeah. Definitely.
If you're waking up still, you're still here. You have responsibilities. You still got to go to work. You have kids. You got to take care of those kids.
Yeah.
You got family that care about you. They need you around.
It's true, man. You know,
Yeah,
you can't
and don't.
responsibilities.
Oh, for sure. And believe me, I sympathize 1,000,000%, because the amount of shit that we've been through.
Yeah.
It's definitely really hard to let go of certain things.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand it. But once you learn to start to let go and accept what has happened, your life will start to open up new doors for you,
Mhm.
and you'll be able to smile again, and you'll be able to meet new people you never thought you would meet, because that's who you're bringing in now. Because when if you stay and hold on to that, and that hurt and that pain, your mind stays cloudy,
Yes.
right? There's no clarity. You're not present every day.
Mhm.
Like we've talked a lot about that, because that's what everybody wants, is this clarity, to be in the moment, to focus on what's in front of you, to enjoy your time with your family and your friends, and not be struggling internally because you can't let something go and let it weigh on you every day.
It's a lot of discipline is what you gotta focus, right? You gotta, you know, t train your mind in a sense, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and it's one of the hardest things you can do,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially over traumatic events that change the course of your life, or really, really hurt you, or took you down.
Yeah.
But it's only up to you to get back up, because nobody's coming to save you, right?
At the end of the day, you only have yourself, and that's who you should really only count on, you know?
It's a 90% reaction to whatever happens in your life,
Yeah. I do
you
have to
know?
say though, it's okay, to accept. A lot of people too may feel that, like accepting them is, you know, a bad thing in a sense, but it's okay to accept. It doesn't mean that you're accepting that, like, their death was okay and everything. No, you're just accepting the fact that, that person is gone, and as shitty it is, you're never gonna see them again because it's forever, and forever is forever. It's accepting that you're okay with moving on now and starting a new chapter in your life, or whatever may be that the next thing that's gonna happen to you. It's also accepting all that, accepting that you're gonna wake up in the morning without this person. It's a huge thing. You're just, like, I mean, like, for me, for instance, with my late girl, the hardest part was going to sleep and waking up, and I had to accept that I'm gonna do that alone without her. You know, it's the little things too that you got to really open up to and accept all of that, not just the passing of someone, but accepting that your life is different now.
Yeah, or that you're no longer with that person, and the house that you built with that person and is no longer your house,
Yeah,
and they're no longer your wife
yeah,
or your husband. Like it's a whole new direction, and it's extremely difficult.
definitely.
You know, you've created a life with someone, or and then all of a sudden, in your case, they're gone overnight, or you were married for 10 years and bought a house and this and trips, and now that's over, and you got to start again.
Yeah, like a lot with like losing someone, especially with someone that you're with. You're also grieving your future that you've like built up in your head. You know, like every all these plans that you had, now are done. They're gone with that person that you plan with this, or the life, or the kids that you talked about. So you're not only just mourning that person, but you're mourning the future that you thought. As human beings, we think ahead. Like I said before, we want certainty, right? So we're always thinking ahead, making sure everything's perfect. So at that time too, you're grieving that as well. You're grieving the future that you once could have had.
Yeah, and that's where the heartbreak comes in, and the pain, and like you said, it's not, you're grieving the fact that your expectations are broken.
Yeah, exactly.
The expectations that you had in that relationship, that's what breaks you. Like we
Yeah,
said, your heart can't be broken, but your expectations is what's broken.
yeah, yeah.
And that's where people really fall off and start and using the temporary band-aids and self-medicating, and because it is one of the worst feelings ever, is loss and heartbreak. Those two right there are the top, probably worst feelings that you could ever go through.
But you can die from it, man. You can die from it. This is a true story. This is straight. My grandpa passed away, and from lung cancer. The guy never smoked a cigarette in his life. Passed away from lung cancer. A week later, about a week later, my grandma passed away from a broken heart. True story. That's what the doctor said. She died from a broken heart. She just gave up. Her body just starts shutting down. I mean, they were, I think, high school sweethearts. They since high school into the 80s, and she lost her person, man. So she just literally died from a broken heart. I've had my heart broken from a ex girlfriend so bad that I was puking. Like I was puking my guts out because of how it affected me inside. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. You know. So that's where they say, died from a broken heart or whatever it is. Broken, like it is. It's like it. You can. It happened to my grandma and many other people out there. It's tough.
Yeah, yeah, I remember, like when you deal with heartbreak, man, like you are just not the same.
No. No.
Like when you're, if it feels like when you're driving your car, you're wasted, like you're hammered. Like you're not there. I'm not even focusing on the lights I'm driving through,
Yeah.
and I'm shaking. I'm nauseous. I'm not eating.
Mhm.
I'm smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day without eating. You know, it's
And that's on autopilot. You're not even noticing that you're smoking. You're just fucking you know what I mean? It's just you're lost in that shit. It's fucking it's hard, man. It's a really, really shitty feeling, but at the end of the day, that's what makes us grow stronger. You take that pain and you turn it around and you use it to fuel the fire in you to become whatever it is you need to become.
yeah. You let the pain drive you, not
Yeah,
destroy you.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
I'll tell you, you know, as horrible as heartbreak is, it is probably one of the best things to ever happen to you
Yeah.
because that's where you truly find yourself in that pain.
Yeah.
And as especially coming from a man on the man side, man, I've never been so driven in my entire life while going through pain
Mhm.
and heartbreak like that.
Yeah.
And as shitty as that feeling is, and it lasts a long time, it's terrible.
Mhm.
And you want it to go away. And the first thing you wake up, that's all you think about. And the last thing you think about, and pretty much 99% of your day. Even though you want that to go away, that is the biggest fuel, like you said, to fuel that fire.
Yeah.
And in that heartbreak comes your biggest blessings.
Yeah.
Because when I look back on my last heartbreak, man, I've always been a hard worker and driven in general. But man, I was to the extreme. I flipped it, and man, fitness, diet, you name it, working on my finances, man, like that fuel that gave me was I wish I could have that right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm driven, but just that feeling of pushing you to be even better 24/7 is out of this world, man.
It's the "fuck you, I'm gonna show you" fuel. You know what I mean? That's
1,000,000% it
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
You know, and especially as a guy, or if you're going through a heartbreak, man, if you're not the guy that she wants, become the man she can't have.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I met Jules, man. You know, I was at the best point of my life. I was hitting the gym, eating fucking super healthy. You know, I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, working out, meditating, journaling, having breakfast, have a shower, go to work. You know, I was killing it. And I brought in someone special. You know, you're in that great mind frame. You know, you like it's like they say, show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are, right? It's like or what you're doing to yourself, right? It's all about leveling up and being better and self-love. Discipline is probably the number one self-love thing you can do for yourself. Because if you want something so bad and you can have it, but you know it's bad for you know, to stop yourself, that's true discipline, man. That's self-love.
You know, and like you said, when you were doing that 4:30 in the morning and all that, then you met your ex fiance. Well, why do you think you met her and that kind of person? Is because you were already leveling up in
Yeah.
your
I
life.
was elevated 100%.
You were elevated, you were motivated, you were feeling good about yourself.
Nothing could
So
stop me.
that's what you attracted, and most people don't see that.
Yeah,
Is you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are.
yeah,
1,000,000%,
yeah,
right? And when you take care of yourself first and you elevate, you level up in your life, you work hard, you hit the gym, and you're feeling good about, like you say, you're taking the shower every morning, you're meditating, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, and you're feeling good about yourself, man, that's the people you're going to bring into your life.
yeah,
But if you're holding on to all your past traumas and all your past heartbreaks and you don't learn to accept, just like in this fifth stage is acceptance of whatever it is that's happened to you, and you don't learn to let that go, well, now you're holding on to that hurt and you're not fixing your past traumas, your past issues, and your core problems. So, what kind of person are you going to attract now into your life?
Yeah.
Is somebody else that's messed up that hasn't fixed their issues.
Yeah. Exactly.
1,000,000%.
Yep.
Is that's just how it's this is how it is. So when you look at your past relationships and I look at mine, why they failed, well, everyone it's very easy to point the finger like, well, they cheated and they did this and they did that. Well, yeah, but what did you do?
Yeah.
And the reason that they cheated is because that was the kind of person that they were,
Yep.
because they were dealing with their own shit. And that's what you attracted, whether you're the cheater or not.
Yeah.
Because there was shit you didn't deal with. There was red flags in the beginning that you ignored to let it get to that point.
It's true, man.
So in reality, it is your fault.
Yep.
Because I guarantee when you look at your past relationships, and even though you didn't cheat and they cheated on you or they were abusive, yeah, that was them being a piece of shit. But if you look at the beginning of that relationship, how many friends warned you, or how many red flags did you see where you didn't really listen to your gut and then you tried to find the good in them, and then you stayed with them, and then it went out longer and longer. Then look what happened.
And then you're sad because, you're like, "Oh, what happened?" But at the end of the day, if you saw, open your eyes, you'd see what the fuck happened.
But if you elevated in your life and got to a point where you learned to love yourself, you were doing the things that you enjoy, you were
Yeah.
happy, even if someone like that comes into your life or tries to,
Cut.
when you're like that, you will bounce them in 2 seconds when you see those red flags,
Yep.
because you've already raised your own self-worth, your own self-love, your own
It's
self-esteem.
true, man. I just
So when that comes around, you're like, I ain't putting up with that shit. You're done.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I don't know. Because when you have low self esteem and low self worth, you let shit slide.
Yep.
You and you ignore those red
Or
flags
make
because you're low,
excuses.
or you make excuses. They're like, oh, but he was just a nice guy and she was
Yeah.
this. Fuck. And that's why then it goes and then 3 months later, you wonder why the guy cheated on you or punched you out or she slept with your friend,
Yeah.
because you ignored all the clear signs right off the bat because you didn't truly love yourself. You didn't have self confidence enough to be like, to tell them there's the door. Nope, I ain't putting up
Mhm.
with that shit.
Well
And that's why we let ourselves get to these points in relationships, is because we don't truly love ourselves.
well, I think, man, honestly, like, when someone breaks up with you, I think you really got to treat it like that person is dead. You really do. You gotta treat it, have a fucking funeral, burn their stuff, I don't care, whatever, but, I mean, treat it as like they're dead, they're gone, you know? They're never coming back. You gotta treat it like that, man, because you go through those stages of grief in relationships when you break up. You do go through that, all of those. Anger, denial, uh, bargaining, you know, depression. It's the same thing, just on a different kind of scale. So at the end of like that relation, you need to mourn it like a death. You really do to proceed.
And the worst thing you can do is look at the social media,
Yeah, fuck.
ask what they're doing,
Yeah,
who are they hanging out with, why do you torture yourself like that?
yeah.
Why?
Or
What
driving
is
by
that
their
going to
house.
do?
Fuck. You know?
Whatever.
Yeah,
And when you're heartbroken, man, you do some fucked up shit because you're fucked up.
yeah,
You don't know you become someone you never thought you would.
yeah,
You lash out, you act out, you smash walls, you drink, you fuck, because it's excruciating, that pain.
yeah, man.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
I understand it.
yeah,
But why torture yourself even more
yeah,
by looking at pictures, asking about them, this and that? Like, man, you got to stop and move on from there and start today. Like,
mm,
you have to start your healing process the day they said they don't want to be with you, or the day they did what they did. that ended that relationship, and you know you can't come back from it. And the reason why people go back to the ones that cheated and that because they don't have any fucking self esteem and confidence. Oh, but I love them and
Well,
they said sorry. Like,
misery loves
dude,
company, bro.
they don't fucking love you.
No, it's just misery loves
They
company.
don't. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done that shit. They
Yeah,
don't love you.
exactly.
But if you get to a level in your life where you build that self confidence, that self esteem, dude, you will not ever take that back, and you would have ignored the or not ignored the red flags in the beginning of that relationship. Period. You're like, fuck this. I ain't even going there.
Yeah. Well,
Right. But it's about working on
yeah.
yourself.
Well, I just went through
It,
that not too long ago. You know that. And you're a say, smarten up, asshole. Smarten up. I didn't smarten up. But then after I realized and I cut that shit, and you were proud of me.
well, I mean, you know, anybody listening and
Yeah.
yourself, man,
Yeah.
you're grown adults. You're gonna make
Yeah.
your own choices.
Yeah.
It is not my place to say.
Yeah.
Only what I see. I only comment on what I see and what other. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And as a friend, I'm not going to be like, well, no, that's your
Yeah.
call. That's everybody else's call on who they choose to date and the lessons they're going to learn.
But that makes
Or some don't even learn the
but
lessons.
it, yeah, well, but it made totally sense because I'm not fully prepared or anywhere close to doing that, seeing someone like that. It's just I can't even pick up like do the whole 4 a.m. thing again. I'm slowly trying to build, and it's gonna take time. I'm still mentally like dealing with a bit of depression. That's why I see a counselor. It's hard, but I mean, I'm moving forward, and that's all that matters. Might take me a year, maybe two. There's no real time frame, but as long as you're putting in the work and you're pushing forward, that's all that matters. And I'll get back there definitely at one point when I'm more full of myself, or feel like better. But at this point in time, I'm still healing. I think I'm finally going through more grieving stages. Like, I was talking to the counselor after our last um dicks the was it bargaining, and it kind of woke me up a little bit. Are talking about the 5 stages, and there is like some stuff that's still, you know I wouldn't say holding me back, but stuff I have to deal with internally, definitely through this whole process. Because you know what happened to me. I never really had a chance to fully grieve at the beginning of her passing. I was getting hit left and right and all this, and people are coming at me. It was hard, man. But now that like the dust is kind of settling, I think it's like a lot of things are, I wouldn't say hitting me, but bringing to my attention more that I need to work on and fix, I think. Definitely. Like we said, like
Well,
grief comes in and out like waves, right? So,
and another big part of that is self awareness,
yeah,
right? Most people know that they got issues,
yeah,
but they're not self aware enough
yeah,
that they need to make that
yeah.
change, and instead they mask it. They cover it up. They go to work all the time.
Well, it's from our last episode there, 28 that after, and then talking to my counselor, it kind of shine some light on some stuff, definitely, for the reasons, some of the things that I do or think about going through. Um, so thank you. Kind of helped me open that up a little bit there too, man. So, I mean, and like I said, like the grieving process, like it just doesn't stop, right? It's gonna take some time, definitely. It's hard. I mean, Jules was my person, man. I woke up every day, went to sleep every day. So it's hard to just definitely get over something like that. Do I miss her every day? Of course I do. But I do accept that she's gone. Definitely I have accepted that she's gone. I know death, I to be honest with you, I think I accepted it before I would even say bargaining, or I would say it came just after denial, definitely. But maybe I'm just built a little bit different because I've lost, oh God, over 40 friends and family in my life, right? So I understand death, which is kind of messed up because you shouldn't really understand it, but I'm used to it, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah.
But for you, I think just it's hand in hand, right? The acceptance and letting go, and I think there is a small distinction to that, and I think for you to move forward in your healing of the loss of your fiance is to let go. You've accepted the death,
Yeah.
but now you got to learn to let it go.
Well, you know what? I think a big part of it was the family and everything because they kept on. I mean, they're asking her mom gave me some tools like a year and a half ago. She's like, "Oh, here, have these," and then she asked for them back. So it's these little things that like I'm trying to move on, but I just feel like there's like little jabs I'm getting, and it's like I just can't escape. Just when I think like I got my car back, right, from probate and everything, and then just when I think I'm like, you know, wash my hands away from that and trying to move on with my next chapter. I mean, I love her mom. I'll keep her mom. Nothing about that. But it's just these little things that like keep on pulling me back. You know what I mean? It's not giving me my chance to just separate because there's a lot of animosity. Is that how you say it?
Animosity.
Animosity, definitely. Well, I just say. I mean, she passed away at her mom's house, and then I get blamed for it. I'm at home with my daughter and her best friend, and then I have the whole family come at me. I have her friends coming at me. 4 days later after she dies, they come in and take everything out of her house. The day after she passed away, they told me I had 2 months to move out of her house. I mean, it's I had no time to grieve. It was hard, man. Like you saw me, I just would sit there. I don't even I didn't even speak, man. Like I had no time. I had to like put that shit on hold and figure out my life. Where am I gonna live? What am I gonna do? You know? So that's why I'm saying I think like this my counselor said it's all kind of catching up right now. It's finally taking a breath, stepping back and actually getting to feel more of the emotions that I missed, I guess you say on the way. It was just I don't know. It was crazy, man. I mean,
Well,
death does crazy things, to people. I love her mom. Her mom will always be my mother, like grandma to my daughter. She's been great to her, but it's just the people around her just would put these fucking things in her head, man, and it ruined my grieving process. It sucked, but
yeah,
going through it
that's
now.
when you're hit with other things in life, and a lot of people are, and the overnight their whole life changes, and now they got to restart. Now they got to rebuild.
Yeah,
How do you move on from this? How do I move forward from this?
scary. It was.
I own a house with my wife, and now we're getting a divorce, and now I don't have a house. I was
Mhm.
just with my mom yesterday, and she passed away this morning in a car accident, and now you know what I mean. And
Yeah,
things like this is the really scary things, and the reality of life, and these things that happen.
yeah,
And it's extremely difficult. But when these things do happen, like we always say, it's okay to not be okay,
yeah,
but it's not okay to stay in it. And staying in it is a clear indication of not accepting it,
yeah.
not letting go,
Mhm.
still in denial, still in depression. You know, but it's only up to you and you only that to move forward from that,
Yeah.
and which direction that you're going to take now going forward.
Mhm.
And it's the hardest thing to do is when you deal with these things, especially traumatic events and heartbreak and loss. You know, it's extremely difficult because it changes you as a person. You're not the same anymore.
Yeah.
You will forever hold on to that. If you love that person and they're gone, relationship or death, you'll always have love for them,
Yeah.
but you have to accept that they're gone. You have to accept that we're no longer married. We're no longer together.
Mhm.
They're no longer coming to any of my Christmas dinners or birthdays. They're not coming to my kids' birthdays because they're gone. They've passed away or they're
Yeah.
no longer stepmom or stepdad. And it's one of the hardest things ever.
Yeah, man.
You know, and that's where our expectations are broken, you know, not our heart, it's our expectations because we not only did we have a history, but you had plans for the future.
Yeah.
And now that future is not the same anymore.
Well, even if there's kids involved too, man. Like my daughter, Jules was a great stepmother to my daughter. She was a fucking better mother than her own mother, man. You know what I mean? Like she was amazing, man. And like my daughter getting a taste of that and then gone, I mean, my daughter dealt with it like a champ. I have to like I didn't even know how I was gonna tell her, man, and she a champ. Strong, you know. I have to give her props for that. Like obviously she showed emotion, but she was more there for me than I was there for her. She was comforting me.
Just, careful too though is she dealt with it really well for when she passed, but a lot of things, don't affect the children until they're older
Yeah,
because of this, and
yeah,
that creates abandonment issues
definitely.
and whatever else it may be
Yeah,
that children have had to deal with. I mean, look what I had to deal with, man. And like I was physically and sexually abused when I was a kid,
yeah,
and things like that. And sure, as a kid, you can shake a lot of things off as they do. But as you get older and you realize that you are the way you are or do the things that you do, and once you start seeing a professional about it, why do I keep doing this? Like, well, that's because of that when you were 5 years old.
yeah,
And that stems from that when you were five or when you were
yeah.
six or when you were 10 and you're, whatever it is that was traumatic in your life that was done to you as a child or your parents are never there.
Yeah.
That's abandonment issues.
Well, luckily though, she went into it's called was it play counseling where they like color and do these things. And she went to 3 sessions. And I mean, it's only 3 sessions, but even the counselor said that she seems, adequate and okay. Hopefully she's not hiding it very well, you know. But I mean, I don't know. But I mean, it's only 3 sessions. My daughter didn't want to go anymore. She wasn't having it. She didn't really like it. She's like, I don't care about coloring. But
Maybe try to find her a different outlet.
well,
It's, there's
I do.
there's all different things, right?
But
But
I do, man. She loves the horses. I mean, I just paid for her for a week. She goes to horse camp, 2 times a summer, and she stays there for a whole week, both times. That's her she loves it, man. Loves the horses, so
yeah, it's not easy, especially with children,
no,
right?
man. No. Even, like,
But
breakups,
see,
man. Same thing with breakups. Someone comes in your life, they stick around, and then all of a sudden leave. At the end of the day, okay, all the pain, yeah, you're feeling, but what about the kids, man? They gotta grieve, you know? That's hard on them too. That's why that's why, it's good to, like, not introduce your kids for at least, God, 6 months. Jules was mad because it took me 6 months I didn't introduce him or introduce my daughter to her. She was so mad at me. She's, like, telling her mom, like, "Why won't he show me introduce the kids?" Like, because you gotta protect them, right? Because of situations like that where, like, someone comes into your life and then all of a sudden, see you later. And then your kids, like I said, just left grieving, right? And then abandonment issues.
Yeah, and all the kid sees is what she doesn't love me anymore.
Yeah,
And then, that's
yeah,
what the kids don't understand the heartbreak, but they understand when they're there playing with them every week for a year, 2 years,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden they're not playing with them anymore.
They'll think it's their fault.
Yeah. So it's definitely tough, man, but
Yeah.
and a part too of in this whole acceptance thing on the traumas that we suffer is if you don't accept it and you keep adding to that and stat like we did for years, like I did for years,
Me too.
until and not fixing your issues and not talking about your problems is you are passing that down to your children
Yeah,
to deal with
yeah,
because you chose not to deal with it. Generational trauma, you can pass that down. That's a real thing.
yeah.
So not only does your children or do children have go through enough with a loss themselves of the relationship, the other half, or grandma or auntie or whatever from loss, is they also get to deal with your bullshit and your issues that you choose not to deal with because you choose not to accept it. You choose not to learn to let it go or figure out how to let it go.
True story. Yeah.
So you can be the best version of yourself every day and you have clarity and you're able to be present
Mhm.
with your children, with your family, at your job. Because I wasn't present for 20 years. I was always there for my children. I was there for my friends. I was loyal. I never cheated in my relationships, but I wasn't present, man. Because every day I was broken. I was struggling. I was in pain, crying, anxiety driven. And fucking, we get told as men just to fucking suck it up, man up. You got this. Stop being a bitch. But man, I tell you, man, holding that in for 20 years, man, and then it blew up in my face. And that was almost it for me, man. I couldn't do it anymore.
I feel you.
I I broke. I literally broke. And that's when the last time I couldn't leave my bedroom for 5 days. Literally, I had one orange in 5 days. Lost 30 pounds in 6 days, and I broke because I chose not to deal with years of trauma, abuse, loss, and mask it.
Mhm.
Overwork, drink, hanging out with friends every weekend, doing this and partying and whatever else just to distract yourself. But by distracting yourself, you're just prolonging the damage. You're not fixing it,
Yeah.
you're making it worse.
It's true.
And then people choose not to deal with it because it's a trigger and they don't want to think about it or talk about it, especially as a man. They don't want to, for me, I don't tell a stranger I got touched by another man when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a man having to say that out loud as a 40-year-old to a psychiatrist?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I get it. I get it. You don't want to talk, or
Yeah. 'Cause you
you
if
have,
you feel tough, that's gonna make you feel weak and vulnerable. Yeah, man, definitely, I could see that, you know?
but I tell you, and that's why we do what we do, is by getting through that in the beginning, because that's the hardest part. It's triggers.
Yeah.
It, it sets you off. You don't want to talk about it. It hurts to talk about it. It makes you feel shitty thinking about it again because you blocked it out for so many years. But just because you buried it and you masked it, and now you got to turn around and face it.
Mhm. It's true.
Now you got to look it dead in the eyes and be like, "This is why I've been like this for 50 years, 30 years." And that is the hardest part, and most men especially don't wanna do that. "I'm fine. I'm good. I'll be alright." and you act fine, but you're not fine.
Yeah.
Everyone around you feels it, and you feel it especially. You know it.
Mhm.
You know why you keep doing what you're doing. You know why you have anger issues. You know it. You know exactly how you feel. Just people, it's too hard to face it and look yourself in the mirror
Mhm.
and face it. But by doing so and facing it and learning to accept what's happened, whether it's your fault or not, I tell you, man, the clarity that comes in your mind, I never thought I would have in my entire life because my mind was so polluted for as long as I can remember since I was a child. And it snowballed for 30 years with death, lost a son, tried to commit suicide twice, abused as a child, you name it. It man, I could go on and on, just like you, man.
Mhm. Well, that's why we're here though, to help, right? We want people to know, or men to know, that it's okay. You're not alone. You don't you're not in this battle alone. You have brothers, that will help you and fight with you, you know?
And start taking bricks out of that backpack that we carry around,
Yeah,
not add to it.
exactly.
But in order to do that, you got to turn around and face those demons.
Yep.
You got to look yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm tired of feeling like this. I can't do it anymore.
It's the fight, man.
But it starts with you
Yep.
and you only, because nobody's coming to save you.
Yep.
What you do with what has happened is up to you. Just because you were a victim doesn't mean you have to be a victim. So stop being a victim. Stop acting like a victim. Stop pointing the fingers because it's easier for you to sleep, telling yourself that, it was their fault. So I'm okay. I'm fine. It's you. You got to point the finger at yourself if you want to make the change. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I fucked up. You know what? I'm fucked up. Something's wrong. I'm not right. I'm tired of hurting people that didn't deserve it. I'm tired of hurting myself. I'm tired of holding on to this that I couldn't let go for 20 years. And that's what I did. Was I held on to all this child abuse, to loss of everything for I don't years, as long as I can remember, until one day it blew up in my face and I broke. And that's when I decided I got to look at myself in the mirror and be like, you are the reason that relationship ended.
Mhm.
You are the reason your bank account has looks like this right now. You are the reason you're in a house you don't like right now. You are the reason you're doing a job and going 6 days a week, 12 hours a day to a job you don't even care about. It's no one else's fault but you.
Yep.
You are where you are in your life because of you, not because what happened to you.
It's about keeping yourself accountable.
You have to. And
Yeah.
most people won't do that.
Yeah. But it's okay to
But
fail, man. That's the thing. People are scared to fail. That's not failure. I
and people are scared to
yeah,
change.
man. I heard, oh god, today I heard I forgot who said it, but it says that it said half the people that quitted, or 90% of the people that quit, were steps away from achievement.
I believe it
Yeah, man. You know? Maybe it
because
was.
they're almost there and then they just give up
Yeah,
because it's too hard
yeah,
or they don't want to face themselves.
yeah,
They have too much self-doubt in themselves. They don't believe in themselves.
yeah,
That's the biggest thing is no most people don't believe in themselves
yeah.
because you'll never go past in your life the level of your own self-worth, right?
Mhm.
You'll never go past that
No, you
because you
can't.
only stay where you think you believe you should be
Yeah,
or the job you can only do because you don't think you can do something else
yeah.
or you think you can only date this person because you don't think you'll find better.
Be a
But that's your level of self-worth that you've hit, that you can never go past until you raise that.
You gotta be hungry, man.
You have to raise that.
Mhm.
Then the better jobs come, the better relationships come, the better friends come. Because when you raise the level of your self-worth, how do you think you feel about yourself? Your self-confidence goes up.
100%.
The love for yourself goes up.
Mhm.
The clarity in your mind is is like, I can't even explain the clarity coming from what I came from, because I chose a different path this time than to drink, to feel sorry for myself, play a victim. It was her fault.
Mhm.
It was his fault. No, man.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things I ever to do is I had to look in the mirror and be like, you know what? As painful as this is, and if I was the reason for that relationship, I have to accept that,
Mhm.
because now I can learn from that. Now I can grow from that. But you have to raise that level of self-worth, and in doing so, and being able to do that, is you have to accept and let go of anything that's happened in the past
Yep.
in order for you to move forward into a better future. You can't let these past moments interrupt the movements to your future.
Mhm. Just little speed bumps,
So,
that's okay. You know what I mean? Those little speed
well,
bumps.
that's
Yeah.
that's that's normal. That's
Yeah.
life. Speed bump, like, dude,
Yeah.
fuck, life is
Shit
gonna be
happens,
there
man.
every morning you wake up. Life's coming around the corner and it's gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah.
But being able to deal with these things going forward, because you've raised your level of self worth, your confidence, your self esteem, and the love for you have for yourself, and you've learned and found tools to help you get through things as you grow moving forward.
Mhm.
Because again, as we get older, you're going to deal with more deaths, because that's life,
Yep.
you know. And like I said, life's going to punch you in the face numerous times, over and over.
Mhm.
No matter how good your life is today, tomorrow's a new day. You don't know what's going to happen. But being able to deal with these when they come now, whatever traumatic events, stresses, all these things, you're able to tackle it a lot better, be more self-aware, learn how to manage your emotions when it happens better, because you've dealt with the past and able to move forward, accept it, let it go, and find the tools so that when these things do happen going forward, you're not knocked down, and you don't stay down for a year. You stay down for a week,
Yeah, you navigate through it.
or and you navigate through it a
Yeah.
lot better,
Yeah.
because you've raised your self-worth, and you feel better about yourself, and you know how to tackle these things when they come, because then you get to a point where, like, fuck, I'm built for this shit now. And that's how you have to be.
Yeah. Um, can I bring up something, actually some good stuff here? End it on a good note?
Sure, man. Go for it.
Some exciting stuff. I just want to, first off, say thank you to everybody that listens all over the world now. I mean, Joey, I mean, we're all over the world, bro. We're getting there. So I just want to, share something with everybody. We are in the Philippines. We're in Bulgaria, Ireland, Costa Rica, New Zealand, Japan, Mexico, Australia, United Kingdom, the States, and Canada. So everybody listening and all over the world there, we really appreciate you. You know, we've stretched overseas. It's just amazing. I just got crazy goosebumps, man. So, you know, we wouldn't be here without all of you guys, and we just thank you. I mean it, thank you. That's just I'm blown away, man. I'm blown away. That's just wow.
Fuck, that's news to me. Japan and
Yeah,
Bulgaria.
man. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. That's what we do.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you again to everybody, man. Like that's just blown away. I can't believe it.
And if you guys are just tuning in, we are Raw Minds. We are the first podcast on men's mental health,
Yeah.
where we share our stories and our struggles. And we've had more struggles than I'm probably almost certain most people that you ever meet in your life. But to be sitting here talking to you guys every week with Eric and to come from a headspace of pollution and anxiety and depression for more years than I can even remember, to be sitting here tonight and every other week to reach out and help other people that are going through it or dealing with it. You know, we're not doctors, we're not psychiatrists, but we've lived that life. And if it wasn't for that life, I wouldn't be sitting here today. So I'm beyond grateful, and the fact that you guys are all listening, you guys tune in every week. I don't know what platform you guys are listening to us on, but we are on every platform you can think of. I'm pretty sure
Oh yeah.
iTunes,
Yep.
Spotify, iTunes,
I heart.
uh,
I mean,
iHeartRadio,
all of
YouTube,
it.
and
Google.
all Amazon Music, you
Yeah.
name it, we're there.
Audible. You name it, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's a real blessing, and I'm very grateful to sit here every week to even be in my own headspace that I'm at now in life.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, we all struggle. Every day is a struggle. Every day we have, small to big triggers. Every day
Mm-hmm.
we have, moments of anxiety, moments of depression, moments of sadness. We're human beings, but it's finding the tools, how to get through them, talking to somebody. I can't stress that enough because it changed my life.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was one of the hardest things is to look myself in the mirror and take accountability and acceptance and accept my part in my downfalls and my struggles, as most of you, as all of you should be doing as well in
Mm-hmm.
order to change your life. Because when you change your mindset, you change your life. But you have to accept and let go,
Mm-hmm.
even if it was the most traumatic, painful, disgusting, disturbing thing that happened to you as a child or even as an adult. They say forgiveness is always for you, not for them. It's fact.
Yep.
It's for you, and a part of that is letting go.
Yep.
Let it go. Stop letting it affect your life, whatever it is. You have to move forward. You're not moving backwards, and it's extremely difficult. I understand it. I sympathize, and I get it. But only you can make that change. You and you only. Because you got people that love you, you got people that care about you. Whether you think you have no friends or you don't think you don't have anybody or family, we're your family. We're here.
Raw minds,
Reach
baby.
out, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Email us, TikTok, fucking on my fitness page, whatever.
YouTube,
Well,
whatever it is, man.
yeah, comment. Use fake names if you don't feel comfortable. We don't care. Call us. We call you. We help you the best that we can. But we can't help you until you want to help yourself first. Only you can make the change. Only we're here just as a support system. We're only here to offer maybe some guidance or some tools that we use.
Yeah.
But it means nothing unless you want to change, unless you can look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I fucked up. You know what, I'm fucked up. You know what, I can't do this anymore. You know what, I'm tired of feeling like this anymore. I'm tired of being lost and broken and lonely, shattered. Because I promise you, there are better days on the other side if you're willing to put in the work. Everyone's waiting for motivation. Fuck motivation.
Yeah.
It's discipline.
Yeah.
Whether you feel like doing it or not, you have to get up.
It's true, man.
Because the days are just going to keep going by you, whether you feel like shit or you don't. So, what are you going to do about it? You have to get up. Don't point fingers. Don't play a victim and get up. because nobody's coming to save you.
Nope.
You really want to change your life, then it starts with you. And it can be a long journey, but at least you're making the changes. You want to stay and where you're at and the job that you're in and the way you feel every day for the rest of your life? Or do you want to feel like that for another 6 months to a year while you're making those changes? And then you start coming out of that on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing you ever did.
Yeah, I feel like a brand new person.
1,000,000%. And then once you get to that point, who do you get to attract into your life? The one, the better relationships,
Yep.
better friends,
Yep.
that job you always wanted. But that comes with work, and most people don't want to do that. Most people don't want to look themselves in the mirror. It's too hard. I'm comfortable. Yeah, well, are you comfortable being fucking stressed and depressed every week and not
Mhm.
happy and just exist? That's all because you're just existing.
Yeah.
You're not living. You gotta live your life. Don't fuck what everyone else says. Live for yourself. Do what makes you happy. Period.
Yeah, man.
Otherwise, you're just gonna live in a constant state of depression, always trying to please others and doing things for other people because that might make them happy, but not you. So reach out. That's what we're here for.
100%.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, man, I think this is the end of our mini series. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah, episode 5 of the mini series of the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah. You know, it's a big
Well
one
done.
next one too, bro. Episode 30 yeah, 30. That's right.
We on 30 already?
Yeah, man. Next week will be 30, bro.
We far exceeded 90% of all podcasts
Yeah.
that don't make it to episode 23.
Yeah.
We still running.
Big things,
We
man.
still
And we
running.
got a lot of big things happening in the background that hopefully are gonna come true. So
Yeah, and on a side note, if you guys are just tuning in or listening, check out ironmenace.com. I also have a fitness gym wear gym line. Just dropped not too long ago. Check it out. More lady stuff is coming, but it's pretty badass, not gonna lie.
yeah, buddy.
ironmenace.com. And if you guys uh have some stories you might want to share, or you've been through hell and back just like us, reach out to us at rawmindspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to chat with you, talk to you, even get you on the show as a guest. We've had numerous guests before. And then if not, like I said, if you got no one to talk to, fuck, shoot us a message, man. Please.
Yeah.
Give us one more day. If you don't feel like you can wake up tomorrow, man, just give us another day. Reach out. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, on that note, for me, we all love you. We appreciate you. And until next week, if you can't find good people, be good people.
And I just want to say, man, blown away still how we're across the world right now. It's wild. So I love it. I love all you guys. Thank you for the support. This is great. We're growing. You know, we appreciate all you that are like passing us on to your friends and other people that need to hear this. And it's great. It's a great little community that we're building here. So thank you. Well, that's it for me too. So we'll catch you next week on episode 30. Well, be good or be good at it. Bye.
Peace.